Right before I started to record this for the final time, I hope, um, I had this thought in my head. I was like, you know what? As long as you're living, no matter what bothers you or what ails you, you're still alive, right? So there comes this level of responsibility that I feel all of us owe ourselves. Um, it's a level of honesty. It's not prestige. It's not glamour. You're looking at the same things you've always seen. When it first started, it was the little boys, the triplets. Then after that, Noah's Ark. Then after that, the picture, which you may still be looking at, of these Chaldeans who have these Hebrew people, and what seems they may have a host with them. However, I won't get into the drab that people are wearing and the one woman that is off to the left hand side, but to the men's right hand side, wearing the pink drab. I just wanted to talk about how I know for a fact that if Noah's sons were triplets, then that changes the entire course of what we know and what we believe. It further exacerbates things like people had to come from Middle Earth to change what people look like. Further exacerbates that people came from Middle Earth, as they say in their own histories. What I'm going to do right now is simply read to you again things that I've read before in the past, but because I have your attention, like I haven't had it, for these same matters. It's kind of sort of 50-50, I guess. But people are weird, you know. Not that you guys are weird, but people are weird. People are peculiar about what they'll listen to. I'm going to say I'm not weird. I'm just not as peculiar. So I'm just not as weird about that. Let's go to my imported documents. One moment. And we're going to go the Native Indians Connections to Agartha. I'm going to pull that up. It's at paleoaliens.com, I want to say. One moment. I'm going to pull up another one of fallen angel names just because I want to go over some of that. I'm going to pull up another one of, one second. Indian said that a hollow subterranean earth exists. And I'm going to pull up one more for the sake of just bringing it up, right? We're going to go early history of Germanic tribes. And I'm going to start with that one. So this one's not going to cover everything, but the Indo-European concept is going to be touched on. One moment, and this is at www.sjsu.edu. All these links are going to be in the dang on what's it called, description box. So we're gonna start with the early history of the Germanic folks. I'm only 4 minutes in. I'm gonna just touch and go on a couple things. So the origins of Germanic time, the origins of Germanic tribes is lost in the sands of time. We're gonna start there. What little is known is based on linguistic evidence. That's the middle part. The ending is their Germanic languages belong to the Indo-European family of languages that span Eurasia from Ireland to West India on the east. The origin of Indo-European languages is believed to have been a merger of three people in the region between the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. One of the three excelled in warfare, one in agriculture, one in metalworking. The synthesis of these three strengths produced a folk that spread east and west. The western branch split into the ancestors of the Baltic, Celtic, and the Germanic, and the Slavic tribes, as well as a welter of smaller groups such as those of the Latins and Greeks. This is what they believe, this is what they're saying, who became people to be known as these. Understand that. The languages of the Germanic tribes underwent systematic sound change that distinguished them from languages of the other branches. I'm not going to get into all that right now. That's going to be in the comment section. We're going to go to this next one, which is the www.disclose.tv. Amazon Indians say that hollow subterranean earth exists. We're just going to touch and go on this too. Amazon Indians in the underground world. These inhabitants are descendants of the sun god. How did they get there? They went through a cave. 13 to 15 days later, they reached inner earth. The Mukuzi have another role by protecting the cave entrance and preventing others from entering under earth. The inside of this is very bright. The inside of this world is very bright, light and sunlight. Even in this underworld, there was a place to grow fruits, oaks, mangoes, bananas, and other plants. But there are dangerous areas to avoid, like boiling stone and streams. Could this legend be true? The Mukuzi have been known to be guardians of golden diamonds. This story sounds like the stories of the Guardian of the Galaxy. This also sounds like a version of heaven and earth. Heaven, the brightness, food, sun qualities, and hell, boiling stone, streams, and dangerous. Most cultures and religions have some heaven and hell belief. This seems like Mukuzi belief in an underworld. This seems like the Mukuzi's belief in an underworld. It is interesting to see how the sun is incorporated in the underworld. What should be dark, scary, never-ending is bright and full of hope, like other religions which offer hope and a future for all. Stop. That is not true for all religions. That is not true for all faiths. That is not true for all practitioners of a specific discipline, whether you want to call them a cult or a sect. Okay, so with that, there's a polar language here that you just got, but I'm going to read the very first part. An Amazonian tribe, Mukuzi Indians, believes there was an underworld earth beneath the earth as recently as 100 years ago. Is this folklore of truth? Are they saying that they believe this, or are they saying that they know this? See, because the scientists don't believe them because they won't take them. You understand that? They said perhaps there could be some truths in it. There could be some truth in it. Perhaps there are even inhabitants beneath the earth. Wow. Are you hearing it? Right. And y'all think I'm tripping about this Middle Earth joint. I'm not tripping. We're going to go to the Agartha, an American Native Indians descendant of race. Are Native American Indians descended a race of subterranean dwellers? Here we go. What are some of Native Americans' creation beliefs? According to creation stories passed down through the generations, several of Native American Indian tribes believe their ancestors originally emerged from the interior of the earth. The Navajos believe that they emerged at a place known only to them in the Navajo Mountains. The Aztec feel that they were one of 7 tribes that came out of the caverns of Aztlan. The Zuni believe that in the old days, all men lived in caves in the center of the earth. That's because they're Middle Earthers. The elders of the Hopi believe that the elders of the Hopi people believe that an entrance in the Grand Canyon exists, which leads to the underworld. Again, the underworld talk. And there was a tale about a tunnel in the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation in Arizona, which is said to lead inside the earth to a land inhabited by a mysterious tribe. According to the Panwi story of creation, all living things came from the underground. Once again, that's their Middle Earth history. That's what they know. Chikili, the head of the chief of the Creeks Indians tribe, said The head chief of the Creek's Indian tribe said, "The earth opened in the west, where its mouth is. The earth opened and the creeks came out." Whoo, that's deep. Ancient ancestors emerging from subterranean lands seems to be a common theme among Native American tribes. Did some of these early Americans actually come from the underground we walk? Come from under the ground we walk upon? Wasn't just Native Americans who believed they originally came from out of the who came from a region under our earth. Ancient Egyptians had an invisible underworld of the dead, which was ruled over by Osiris. The Greeks had a dark underworld of the dead, which was ruled over by Hades. The Norsemen, Teutons, and Vikings had their underworld, a place called Niflheim, a chillful world of ice and darkness. That was their land of the dead. Hold on, these aren't places that they said they came from. These are just places that they believed in. These people claim they came from Middle Earth. They're trying to incorporate these other people from being Middle Earthers, because what you're hearing right now is that some of these people were invaders from Middle Earth to these cultures and took on the identities of these people. One moment, carrying on. The Mayan underworld contained several deadly places, such as the House of Gloom, the House of Cold, the House of Jaguars, and the House of Fire. According to Inca legends, the first of the Inca race were 4 brothers and sisters who were said to have emerged from a cavern close to Cusco in Peru. There is such a dwellings where gods created for the first human beings, a dwelling in which they became great and increased in numbers, and the location of which is described in words exactly corresponding to those Iranian, listen, Indian, Chinese, Ediac, and Aztecian literature, namely in the center of the earth, from the records of the books of the past. Translation by Sayce. It says, how about you? What do you believe? And before we roll on now, because I know this is taking a long time, I wanted to cover some of these fallen angel names, right? Just because people be thinking I'm stupid and don't know nothing. On this list right here, there has to be like 100 names at least. You know what I mean? And there's more. They have specific names, but these are fallen names, not expelled angels. There's a difference. And so I'm gonna hit you guys with something. Here we go. Behemoth is a fallen angel who was a demon of the deep. Did you hear that? So this thing that is spoken on in text and passage could actually be something not very good. You understand? And you have to really understand that, like, all things are creation by the Most High. Right? Like, He made you physically if you're a fallen angel. So, because He made you before you were fallen. No duh. Right? You gotta really wrap your heads around some of this stuff, y'all. I know this is kind of out of the way of like the whole like Lilith thing, but it's not. I'm trying to give something to you. Now listen. Lilith, fallen female angel who searches for children to kidnap or kill. Listen. Leviathan, fallen angel associated with deep seas. Did you hear that? So it's if they don't there are people who will associate these two things to being the same. They could be different, but they could be the same, and it's just because there's names like at the very beginning of it where it'll tell you Abaddon is a fallen angel of death whose name means to destroy, and then down here you have Apollyon, which probably where Apollo comes from, fallen angel of death, same as Abaddon. So it doesn't tell you that. It doesn't have to tell you that her name is the same as this one, because they know that. Wormwood, fallen angel who brings plagues upon the earth. Zapar, fallen angel who makes women love men. I mean, there's just a bunch of different names. Uzzah, fallen angel who names means strength. There's guys named Uzzah in the Bible. You gotta understand. Anyway, This is another piece for Lilith, and where some of her babies are, who some of her babies are, and how you should feel about it. I feel no type of way. I don't tell you how to feel about it, but you're gonna hear it. And when you look at the information and read it, and just think about everything that I'm always talking about, y'all. Don't just cast this. Don't cast me aside and then, upload this into your mind. No, think about everything that I'm always saying about Middle Earth, about the flood, about these things that fell from the sky or whatever. It came from another dimension and made it with everything they could mate with and changed the genetic structure of it. Think about it for just a moment and really pay some heed to it. I thank you for your time. Appreciate you very much. And may the Most High, creator of everything, friend and deity of Abraham, bless this day and bless those that deserve to be blessed. And may he curse those that deserve to be cursed. I don't pray for the wicked. I don't placate them. Nor do I do that for the evil. I will not placate. I will not vindicate in any way, shape, or form. And as such, antiquate, which is to make to nothing, to render obsolete what they've done. I will not do that. Thank you very much. Much love. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.